You are now tuned in to this TED Talk, Why Failure is Your Most Honest Teacher.
Have you ever experienced getting scolded by your mother for having a red mark on a test? Or getting belittled by your relatives for getting a low grade? Or being laughed at in the class for making a mistake? As kids who grew up in this Asian household, we learned one lesson very early, and that is failure is something scary. It is something we desperately want to avoid. Somewhere along the way, we were taught that failure is a sign that there is something wrong with us, that failure is the opposite of success. But what if we've been looking at it the wrong way? I want you all to remember your last big mistake. Was it a major exam? A project that suddenly malfunctioned? Or maybe a broken connection? At that very moment, you might have felt like it was the very end. I have faced many setbacks in my own life. I failed multiple major exams in chemistry. I struggled with public speaking until my knees shook. I have countless projects that have crashed just right at the deadline. But here I am, still talking to you. And if I hadn't gone through those specific failures, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you today. Was that mistake truly the end? Or is it where our journey began? Albert Einstein famously said, "Failure is a success in progress." Failure forces you to pause, to think, to reflect, and to adjust. It makes you ask questions. Where did it go wrong? What can I do to avoid it? And how can I make it better? These questions are the foundation of learning.
Oftentimes, we as people are blinded by our success, completely disregarding the thought of failure. To someone blinded by success, failing feels like a punch in the gut. However, what if I tell you that failure is not something to mull over? Research in psychology shows that failures and setbacks actually help you in gaining understanding and improving your performance later on. For example, a study on productive failure by Kapoor demonstrates that failing early on enhances your understanding and improves your problem-solving skills later in this field. So failure is life's way of telling you to get better, because it helps you grow. In short, it is a way of self-improvement. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall, is a quote by Confucius. This quote shows our human resilience and grit. It shows that failure is not something as humans stop at. It is something we look forward to and improve on. This is backed by research of psychologists like Angela Duckworth and Carol Dweck with the research in growth mindset. For example, failure leads us to grow and to improve, better understanding, and etc. Failure prepares us for future challenges and shows our weaknesses that we need to improve on. So in the long run, if you listen to what failure tells you, you are bound for success. So the next time you fail, take it as room for improvement and not as a setback, and then start on improving yourself.
As we end this talk, I want you to think about one moment when you failed. Maybe an exam you didn't pass, a project that went wrong, or a mistake that embarrassed you. At that moment, it may have felt like everything was falling apart. But today, I hope you see that failure is not something you grow up fearing. In fact, failure is not here to destroy you. It is here to guide you. Failure is honest. It shows you the truth about what you still need to work on. It points out your weak spots so you can improve them. It teaches you lessons that success alone can never give. When you fail, you are forced to pause, reflect, and adjust your actions. This is how real learning process happens. Every successful person you know has failed many times. They face setbacks, doubts, and disappointments. But that didn't stop them. Instead, they take that as inspiration, as we know that they still have a place to improve and courage to rise after every fall. We choose to learn from their mistakes instead of running away from them. So the next time you fail, do not think it is the end. Ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? Failure is not a dead end. It is a turning point. It gives you direction, it helps you grow, and it prepares you for challenges ahead. Let us stop seeing failure as something to fear. Let us accept it as our most honest teacher. One that pushes us to become stronger, wiser, and better than before.
Failure is the teacher that arrives uninvited but leaves you wiser.